Alright, you little Today we're going to be talking about the birds and the Cardi B's. Baby. We're talking about WAP, okay? We're going to be reviewing WAP today. Okay? Jeez. WAP is perhaps the single greatest thing that has ever happened to us since Anaconda, or the best high school graduation speech ever, Weber High School 2015. And it is for this glorious occasion, and in honor of Cardi B herself, that I have decided to don these little butts. Now, as we all know, my channel is family friendly, and so you may notice a few changes to the music video to make sure that the younger audience members can enjoy the artistry and the lyricism and magic of Cardi B's WAP along with the rest of us. And so without further ado, let's get straight into this WAP. Wow. What a garden. I wish I had a garden like that. Jeez. Getting right into it. There sure are. Wow, I wish I had that for my bud.
I said certified free, 7 days a week.
Okay, so straight off the bat, I kind of have a few questions. So number one, what does having a freak certification qualify you for? Number two, what is her accrediting institution? Asking for a friend. Number three, why? Like, why would you do that? Also, I hope she knows that working 7 days a week is against federal labor laws. It is unfair and she should sue. I mean, I hope she's at least getting paid overtime, but this is totally unethical. All right, let's continue.
Make that weak. Yeah, you with some wet. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet. Give me everything you got for this wet. Beat it.
See, this is the subtlety of genius. A simpleton might hear these lyrics and think, wow, she really couldn't come up with anything else to rhyme with wet and other than wet and 3 times in a row? First of all, how dare you? Secondly, yes, in fact, it was the only thing she could think to talk about for the entire duration of this song. But that's besides the point. Like, think about it. You don't need to rhyme words with other words when it already rhymes with itself. Duh. Like when Pitbull rhymed Kodak with Kodak. Genius. And this whole song is about that wet and she makes sure that we know that. And that's really the genius of this. This sort of lyrical repetition is exactly how we know just how good they are and the fact that we are in for a ride. Pun intended. All right, let's move on now. Yeah, baby.
Catch a charge, extra and extra. Put this right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top. I wanna ride. I do.
Okay, honestly, that makes no sense whatsoever. Cardi, you cannot tell them to get on top of the bike and then expect that there'll be enough room for you to ride too. I mean, especially with an like that.
I do a giggle. I spit in my mouth. Look in my eyes. It's wet. Come take a dive. Tie me up like I'm surprised. That's role play. I wear disguise. I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in this little garage. Bring me, make it out in public. Make a scene. I don't cook. I don't clean. But let me tell you, I got this ring.
Okay, this is probably one of the most powerful lines in all of WAP, if not all of RAP. Here, Cardi B dismantles the patriarchal stereotypes that have held women down in this country for far too long. You see, rather than cooking and cleaning and thus buying into these male stereotypes of woman as submissive, she instead solicits herself for sex to these same men, thus breaking herself from the bonds of oppression. I mean, she's literally saying right here that this is the only reason that Offset married her, confirmed by her recent filing for divorce. This is brave and bold and beautiful.
Gobble me, swallow me, on the side of me, quick jump out for you, let it get inside of me. I tell them where to put it, never tell them where I'm about to be. I run down on them before I have a running me. Talk your bite your lip, ask for a call while you ride that. Why you really ain't never got him for a thing. He already made his mind up for you. Now get your boots, hang your coat, this wet. He bought a phone just for pictures of this wet. Pay my tuition just to kiss me on this wet. I make it rain if you wanna see some wet.
Here we are. I mean, this is the best part of the entire video. Beautiful. Wow. This was so necessary for this video.
Look, I need a hard hit, I need a deep, I need a Henny drink, I need a smoke, not a garden snake, I need a king cobra with a hook.
Now, it would seem that Cardi B is not aware, but king cobras do not actually smoke the leaf. In fact, the only thing that they will do is glass, not grass. She must have gotten those confused. This, I expect, is a great disappointment to her. I mean, especially considering her obviously huge admiration for Los Burritos Verdes. I am deeply sorry to break the news. The only species of snake that I am aware of that does do the devil's lettuce is actually the anaconda. Unfortunately for Cardi B, that particular variety of snake don't want none. For obvious reasons.
He got some money, then that's where I'm headed. It won, just like his credit. He got...
That's a pretty good one. If you don't already know this, and let's be frank, if you don't, you're dumb. A1 is an incredible steak sauce, made from the finest in the world. Now, luckily for us, Cardi B is generous enough to share with us this recipe that apparently, in addition to steak, it actually goes extremely well with. That's really good to know. I'm glad she's sharing that with us. Fantastic. All right, now let's see what other dimes of wisdom she has for us today.
He got a beard when I'm trying to wet it. I let him he diabetic. I don't.
First of all, that was a really awkward shot. Second of all, that is a really good reason why you should not taste wet beards. Honestly, because it gives you basically instantly diabetes. Not a good idea.
He diabetic. I don't want to. I want you to touch that. That swing in the back of my misfire.
Huh. Yeah. So according to Cardi B, she wants to and touch that in the back of her. While at first glance these may appear to be perfectly reasonable requests, upon further examination we find that these actually pose serious risks to her health, to her life, and to her. I'm serious. This is bad news. I would earnestly implore Cardi B to please reconsider before she ends up hurting herself and frankly the rest of us too. I couldn't handle that anymore. I couldn't handle that. Not again.
Misfire. The sun is going and drying. It's coming outside. Yeah, right on that thing. The cuz behind me. The way that I speak. Now he trying to sign me.
Your Honor, I'm a freak. Handcuffs, leashes. Switch my wig, make him feel like he's cheating. Put him on his knees, give him something to believe in. Never lost a fight, but
Did you catch that? Wow. Put him on his knees. That is an obvious reference to prayer. Man, kudos to them for promoting that. I would have never expected this to turn into a faith-promoting message. Yeah, come to Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Never lost a fight, but I'm looking for a beat. In the food chain, I'm the one that eat you. If he ate my he's a bottom feeder.
Are we seriously going to ignore the elephant in the room here? Like, seriously? I'm sorry, Megan, but no. Him eating your does not make him a bottom feeder. It makes him a cannibal. Okay, and you full well know that cannibalism is strictly forbidden in all 50 states and most of Europe. Like, don't even think about it, Megan. And I know you have, because you... Stop. Well, hopefully that settles that, okay? All right, let's keep going.
Stand for big demeanor, I can make you bust before I ever meet you. If it don't hang, then he can't. You can't hurt my feelings, but I like pain.
Man, surprises at every turn. This is the true genius of these artists. Like, let me tell you, I never expected Megan to be an existentialist, but, like, here we are. Life is pain. Life is suffering. But I always like to look to the great Viktor Frankl. And as he has once said, quote, "If there's meaning in life at all, then there must be meaning in suffering." Looks like Megan Thee Stallion has found that. You can't hurt her anymore because she likes the pain. I mean, this is an incredibly deep and complex philosophical message being promoted here. Who would have thought? That or she's a masochist.
Like pain. If he me and ask who's is it when I ride the I'ma spell my name.
First off, I don't know how he'd mess that up. Honestly, if I were you, my recommendation would be that you drop him like he's septic. Seriously. Second of all, you can't. I mean, like, it's physically impossible. And do you really expect him to be able to read that at a time like that? Goodness, girl, surely you can come up with a better solution than that.
Yeah, you with some wet. Bring a bucket.
Honestly, they've said this a few times now, but like for real, it is illegal to with wet in all but the most rural parts of America. Just because Cenk Uygur says it's okay doesn't mean it is. Sorry. Let's continue.
Bucket and a mop for this wet. Give me everything you got for this wet. Now from the top, make it drop, that's some wet. I get a bucket and a mop, that's some wet. I'm talking wop, 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 that's some wet. Macaroni in a pot, that's some wet. Huh.
Now, you may in this moment find yourself asking, Chase, you little cutie you, what does macaroni in a pot have anything to do with wet And, simpleton, the answer is, firstly, how dare you? Secondly, as all culinary masters know, in order to cook macaroni, you have to make it wet in a pot first. That's literally it. That's literally all that had to do with anything. This is genius, okay? And as the almost equally genius Mikael Wood of the LA Times has written, quote, I'm still marveling at macaroni in a pot. Like lyricism does not get much better than this. So we're just going to close off with a bunch of dancing in this house, which makes sense given the chorus. Yeah, that's all. Let's go on. Wow. inspiring. Now, I have to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure what in the that had to do with cats. Like, why is the cat wet? And why is it an ass? I think that Cardi introduced an interesting topic, but seriously failed to deliver any answers to any of those questions raised. Who is this cat? That's a serious disappointment. I mean, like, the whole video we saw, what, like 5 cats? And how many of them were wet? Not a single freaking one. We didn't even get to see their asses. Stupid. Now it's time for my official rating. Are you ready for this? Obviously, we have an incredible piece of talent right here. This was an astounding piece of work. These two artists, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, with some of the greatest lyrical content that has ever existed on planet Earth, talking about the greatest topic that could have ever been selected. For their talent, but for failing to deliver answers to that basic question of what this has to do with cats, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 9. Nice. Now, if you thought this review was the most brilliant thing you've ever seen or the worst, stupidest piece of crap you've ever seen in your entire life, like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me about how beautiful I am. Keep it real, and have the greatest day of your entire life.